Good evening. Welcome to Mi Gente on Air. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and I'm happy to be here with you tonight. And we're going to continue on with the show as we do every week here on WSGW 100.7 FM and 790 AM. And we're in the midst of fall now. I was out there on the highway today on I-75, and I just was really loving how I was watching God's canvas as I'm driving north on 75, right around the Bridgeport in the Birch Run corridor. It's really beautiful. So if you haven't had that chance, I would suggest you do that because it's very relaxing to see those fall colors here in Michigan, pure Michigan. And I just love what God gives us every year in this area in the fall. So please go out there and enjoy the beautiful weather. And, when we're speaking of colors, what came to my mind today was Chula's Mexican Imports over there in Shields in Saginaw. And we have a guest today who's going to give us the down low on her life and the store and why her and her sister, Janie, started Chula's Mexican Imports. We're going to have Maria Rangel Baron as my guest here on Mi Gente on Air today. So join us.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening. Welcome to Mi Gente on Air, another edition here where we talk about Latino concerns, culture, and contributions. And tonight I have a wonderful guest who is going to be with me here. Her name is Maria Rangel Baron, and she and her sister Janie Escamilla, they started Chula's Mexican Imports. And I know many of you out there in the radio listening land are familiar with the store over there on Gratiot Avenue in Shields, like when you're going to Swan Valley. I remember passing it every day when I was taking some of the kids to school. And it's wonderful to have that import store in our community. And it's been a number of years that they've been there. And two sisters running the store. It takes a lot of their time, and they mix that with their family life and their tejanas from Texas. So we're going to hear that story today, but please help me welcome Maria Rangel Baron to Mi Gente on Air. Maria, how are you?
Hola, I'm good.
It's so wonderful to see you here. Thank you so much. The only time Maria and I really interact is when I go into her store and we catch up on what's happening out there in the community. And there's always events that she's going to be a vendor at. And usually Cinco de Mayo is one of the big ones. And the Taco Fest, they missed this year, but hopefully next year they'll be there.
Sure. Yeah.
Because she's in demand. They're in demand, the store Chulas, with their imports from Mexico and Mexican. Also, I think includes the Tejano stores down in Texas. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Maria, my audience out there, please let them know who you are and your family background.
I'm originally from Edinburgh, Texas, Del Valle, what people call. And I don't know. I grew up in a small town at the time. It's a big town now. But
and that's Edinburgh.
We still love going over there and visiting.
And isn't that the home of Elida?
Elida
Nivante. I think she's from that area. I'm not really sure, but when did you actually come to Michigan to live?
It's home of Frontera.
Frontera, the huge group right now.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. I didn't come till maybe 1990. I was just out of high school, so at the time Texas unemployment was low, so I had to come to Michigan where jobs were better at the time. So and just stayed here and visited Texas all the time, though once a year at least.
And your sister Janie, she married into the large Escamilla family of Chesaning. And did you come with her, or did you guys come separate?
No,
or who came first?
No, she came first. She graduated high school and came over to Michigan, and is where she met her husband Joe, Escamilla, and with the large family.
Yes.
It's a great Escamilla family. I love that family. They've been really good to me since I've been here. Always made me feel like they're family. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
great people.
And she has herself a number of children and grandchildren, right?
She does. A lot of them.
Well, we should have had Janie on the show too, but
She should have been here.
as we asked her, her sister Maria asked her, and she says, "You do it."
Exactly.
So busted Janie, but we'll have her maybe one day on the show.
Yes.
But tell me how you and your sister came up with the idea, the genesis of Chula's Mexican Imports, and in Shields of all places. Tell me that.
Well, like I said, we're from Texas and we get homesick. So, I mean, we love Texas. So we would go over there once a year all the time and bring stuff back. And we always had people requesting us bring them stuff back. So we just decided, let's open a store and start bringing the stuff over here
Yeah.
and make it accessible for people.
And it's a beautiful store if you haven't been there.
Yeah.
Give us the address where it's at, because I'm not
Oh.
familiar with the address.
It's 7755 Gratiot Road, Suite 5.
Okay, so it's like going by the McDonald's.
It's right across Flanagan's actually, and right next to McDonald's. It's right across the street from Flanagan's.
Okay. So why that area? Why Shields?
It was kind of a central location. I live in Saginaw. My sister lives in Chesney, and it's kind of in between meeting place, so we can, get there easier.
Yeah.
Commute easier during
Well,
the winter time and
yeah.
other times.
I know that Maria's mother, she used to make handmade decorations that many of them had the Virgen de Guadalupe. And I remember buying a whole bunch and giving them to my family for Christmas. They were handmade by your mother.
Yes.
And I know she has passed recently.
Yes.
So my condolence to you and your family, as well as for your father, who's, I believe, birthday.
He also passed in 2020.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
we used to talk about that. Both losing our parents around the same time. I lost my father, and it was a tough time. But we go on, and we live that legacy that they carved out for us here in America. And where were they actually from? From Texas too?
No, actually, my dad was from Guanajuato, and my mom was from Nuevo León.
Oh, wow.
So they're both from Mexico.
Okay, so you're first generation here.
Yes.
But you consider yourself Tejana or?
Oh, I'm Mexican American, but I'm Tejana.
Yeah, and Latina.
I'm a Tejana.
Yeah, that's one of the questions that we talked about last week. My producer Jonathan Dent and I, we talked about, what do you call yourself here as a Latino? And I did say that I prefer Mexican American, and so you as well.
I would prefer Mexican American. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's one guess answer for us. And so, how has the demand for your store been? How first of all, how many years have you guys been?
We've been open 8 years now.
Wow, 8 years already.
Yeah. 2015 we started.
Wow, time is just fleeing.
It is flying by.
And do you remember I would go into your store and I'd have my nephews with me, and Angel was, I don't even know how.
He was little.
Very little. We used him for an advertisement in Mi Gente. We took a picture with a sombrero with his mouth wide open. Remember that? He's now 17.
And he's taller than you.
And he's and the other one is 6 feet. So now,
my
can
God.
you imagine?
Yeah.
And that was, I can't believe, 8 years ago though. It seems like you guys are still starting, and I haven't done a show with you in 3 years.
Nope.
Oh, shame on
you.
Yeah. Well, I we talk about family and all that. That's one of our passions as Latinos, and I know your son just got engaged.
Yes, congratulations to Tony and Ashley. Yeah.
And where was that? Because I seen you post some nice pictures.
Oh, it was in Grand Rapids.
Oh, he's living in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, he lives in Grand Rapids, so it was a great time. We had a great party over there, engagement party, I should say.
And your kids are all grown, and your sister's kids are grown. How do you guys juggle that family life now, with such a, busy store like Chula's, because you have to be there pretty much every day?
Well, like I said, my son is grown and he's got his own life, and so I have more time on my plate, but my plate's pretty full too. So and with my sister's the same. Basically, she's got a lot of grandkids too. I don't have any yet, but they'll be coming now.
They'll be coming.
But
who actually is at the store more often? Because I know that sometimes I'll go in there and Janie will say, "Well, she was supposed to be here today." So
well,
who's there? Because you're in Saginaw, so you're probably
right.
closer.
Yeah, I mean we take turns, but I'm mostly there most of the time because I live closer. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty much there a lot. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I want my listening audience to know, especially those of you who are on live Facebook today, you can ask a question of Maria as well as anything in regard to chulas, Mexican imports, because I know many of you have gone out there and shopped. And one of the things that I notice a lot of is you have a lot of Selena
mhm,
items, you have a lot of Frida Kahlo
mhm,
items, you have a lot of Loteria items,
mhm,
you have Mexican candy like nobody else does in the
mhm.
area. Tell me about your product line.
Oh, we have a lot. You walk in the store, it's pretty colorful and bright. I think that's why kids love it a lot because it's a colorful store. Um, we have a lot of product, and we don't have one particular favorite product because we sell a lot of candy, we sell a lot of loteria, we sell a lot of clothes. So there's not really one particular item that is popular, I guess you could say.
And you have the clothesline with Loteria on them, right?
Loteria, yeah.
Yeah,
We have
yeah. So
different clothing, Mexican dresses for kids or, just different clothing.
yeah, the authentic Mexican dresses,
Mhm.
very colorful with embroidered flowers
Mhm.
for the women, and then you also have the panchos for the men.
Mhm.
I forgot what those are called.
The ponchos for the men,
You know the ones that got
ponchos. Oh, you're talking about the shirts or
no the
the
ones that yeah
ponchos?
that
They're
you
called
they're
ponchos.
panchos, okay.
They're called ponchos.
But if you look at on the screen, there's an apron there that they have there. It's beautiful colors that represent the community. As there was a beautiful dress there with such beautiful embroidered flowers,
Mhm.
and she just has like everything you can imagine when you go in there. If you're looking for Mexican products from pottery, the authentic Mexican pottery. Is there a particular area you go in Texas to get this stuff, or is it imported from Mexico? How do you guys
Um,
do that?
she actually goes to the borders, the border town in Mexico. It's called Progreso, and that's where she does most of her shopping.
Oh, okay, that's your
It's
sister.
it's yeah, it's one of the safest border towns that we can go to, I should say, because not everything is safe in Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Latina entrepreneurs are one of the fastest growing markets that are opening up their own businesses. And I know that there's quite a few, especially in the Saginaw area. A lot of young Latinas are opening up their own businesses. And the statistics, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's quite a lot. And so, how has
Mhm.
that worked out for you and your sister? Latinas, Tejanas, starting a business here in the Saginaw area.
Uh, I mean, starting a business is always a challenge, trying
Yeah.
to get your name out there and people to come see you and stuff like that. But having these events that we do, like Tamale Taste Off and the
Hmm.
Cinco de Mayo, that helps bring us people and let people know that we're out there.
How busy was it for you during that Cinco de Mayo, say the
Oh,
last year,
we
the
love
last two
Cinco de
years?
Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is always busy. We
Y-
love it. It's great.
yeah,
We we sell a lot during Cinco de Mayo.
oh,
It's
okay.
one of our best
We're
times.
gonna have to up that price for the
I
vendors as we are now told. No, I'm just kidding. But why did you come up with the name Chulas for this store? There must be a story behind that.
Not really a big story. I mean, we're trying to come up with a name, and I just named it after my dog.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. My dog's name's Chula,
Is
so
she female or male?
it's a female.
Wow,
It's a
because
female.
when I was 2 years old, my mother got a Chihuahua, and it was about this big, and she could put it in her pocket, and I named her Chula.
And it was a boy.
No, it was a girl.
Oh well, then
So
it's okay.
we're saying, I think that's one of the most popular Mexican dog names
Yeah.
because I hear so many that either have Chula or Chulo.
Mhm.
My friend Christy Lopez, she had a dog named Chulo that I used to make fun of all the time.
Mhm.
But it's endearing. I guess it's an endearing. I thought somebody was calling you and Janie Chulitas or
No.
something.
No, actually, my dad used to make fun of us when he was alive. Paz descanse. He used to make fun of us about the name and saying, "Why are you naming it that way if you don't have anybody that's chula?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Which means pretty,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes. In Spanish, it
In
means pretty,
Spanish.
beautiful. And
Yeah.
I remember my Chihuahua. Is yours a Chihuahua too?
No, mine's it's not a pit bull. It's gosh, I can't think of the name of the dog right now.
It must be a
It's
mixed
a
breed.
it's a bulldog.
A bulldog
Yeah, I
named
can't.
Chula. That does
Yeah,
not seem like it goes well together, but she must be pretty.
it is a pretty dog.
Wow. So
Everybody calls her pretty. That she's pretty.
yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, I encourage everybody to, stop in for the non-Hispanics out there that may be listening to this program. If you haven't gone there, you'll be really surprised at the products that are there. As she said, it's very colorful. Children like it. My nephew Angel and Marcy, that was their favorite store. Every time we would go to Maria's restaurant, and then they'd say, "Let's go to Chula's," and so there we were, and they're buying such things, that I said, "You don't need it, you don't need it," but they always put it on the counter, and of course the Mexican candies, and they just used to love that store so much.
Oh yeah.
So, and do you feel that you talked about the idea that there isn't any particular item, but what about those Selena items? Because
Well, you know what? Anything that has Selena on it, we sell pretty good.
Yeah.
It always sells, whether it be T-shirts, and we have cups still right now. But surprisingly, we've had dolls before, and we've had anything that has Selena on it. It sells.
Isn't
It
that
sells
something
quick.
how her popularity has transcended the generations now?
Yeah, it's
She's been
amazing.
gone almost 30 years, and yet she's bigger in death than in life, I think.
Yeah,
And her products sell like hotcakes.
they do.
Yeah.
They do. They always will, I think. And she's more popular with the younger kids that weren't even born when she was alive.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks to TikTok.
Yeah, thanks to TikTok. Well, I saw something recently on social media where they said that her album, Dreaming of You, which was the last album that was going to cross over that she was hoping for, where she had English songs on it, that it's been 28 years on the charts continuously.
Wow.
And it has reached platinum status 53 times.
Wow.
Yeah, can you believe that?
That's amazing.
That's like a huge selling album. But I remember the first time I heard I Could Fall in Love. It just it was so
It was a beautiful
special.
song.
Yeah. It was like she was talking to all her fans, after her passing. So it really was nice. We've got Antonio Villarreal. He says, "What inspired you to go into the business? And where were you 20 years ago?" Just kidding.
I was really
Thank
young.
you for what you do. So what inspired
Thank
you?
I guess at the time my husband had passed. He passed 14 years ago, and I was kind of looking for something more to do. And I saw my sister in a job where she wasn't very happy. And my husband, before he passed away, had talked to me about opening a business. It was actually a dollar store he wanted me to open. And I discussed it with my sister and talked it over. We ended up, instead of a dollar store, ended up being a Mexican store, which I'm way more happy with the Mexican store because I just feel at home. I get so many customers that I can relate with, and it just makes me feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, and you are. I always
And-
feel at home there too.
Yeah, and my Spanish has gotten better too. So
Yeah. Well, I noticed at the store up on the ceiling, close to the ceiling, I should say, there's a lot of artists, Tejano artists particularly, and there's signatures on there. Were those yours or your sister Janie's?
No, they actually belong to Joe, her husband.
Oh.
And he bought them at a rummage sale. All those pictures.
Oh, wow.
So
in Texas?
No, here.
Here in Michigan. Wow.
Mhm.
Somebody out there was saving those. There are a lot of black and whites of the Tejano artists in the 90s. And
they've got autographs. They're all autographed.
I know.
All of them.
Here, that's false advertising. I thought it was you who was going to all those concerts. No, but it's wonderful to see that.
Yeah, they're nice pictures.
Yeah,
too.
and somebody said to me recently that at the Civica, the Union Civica, that we should put up some of the artists that come to town that we've brought either for Cinco de Mayo or for dances, and have them sign them when they leave, and kind of that same similar
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, you should.
It's expensive color though. But yeah, maybe we will because they felt that the younger generation may relate better to the artists like Michael Salgado or
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
thinking, wait a minute, but the younger generation, they're sometimes forgetting about Tejano in the
Mm-hmm.
heyday that we experienced. And so, we're gonna have to talk about that with the members and the board.
It's up to the parents to keep the tradition going, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know like the Escamilla family,
Oh yeah.
they have different bands.
Mm-hmm.
Mateus, he has a band, doesn't he? Still. And it's really nice to hear their music.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard it in a while, but I know that Tito Gana, you know Tito?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is kind of related to me,
Mm-hmm.
and he plays in that band, and it's always good to hear them. And I know in the past they've been in the Cinco de Mayo parade coming down Michigan Avenue in a
Yeah.
vehicle and with their instruments loud and clear. So
Yeah, they've got the Escamillas, they've got the Chispa Caliente, they got the G notes. All the Escamillas are in those bands. So
wow,
it's pretty nice.
yeah, yeah. Well, I've always said there's a lot of talent here in the Midwest area, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the Saginaw Bay area. There's a lot of Tejano artists who have learned the craft and have kept us on the dance floors for many many years. And so I always say that sometimes I compare our Midwest Tejano artists as good as any down in Texas, believe it or not. So
Mm-hmm.
you might differ, right? Because you're from Edinburgh. You must have grown up in a high school where you were hearing a lot of Tejano, huh?
You know, the funny thing is, I didn't like Mexican music growing up. It was really getting on my
Ay,
nerves.
Maria.
And my dad loved it, and he was a big dancer, went to all the dances all the time, and he loved it. I think maybe that's why, somebody trying to.
Force you to do something.
Yeah.
So was it just you and Janie as siblings, or do you have other siblings?
No, I have another sister and a brother. They both live in Texas.
Oh wow,
Hmm.
very nice, very nice. So when was the last time you've been to Texas?
When my mom passed away last year.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I really love those handmade items that she made. They were so
Yeah.
beautiful, and I love the ones of the Virgen de Guadalupe where she would put embroidered sequins on the bottoms. And
Oh,
do
she
you remember those?
loved. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, who would spend all that time to do that?
She has thousands and thousands. I'm not kidding of things of those type of things
That
that
she
she
made?
did.
Do you
Different ones.
Do you still sell them at the store?
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Like I said, she has thousands.
that's something else. That's
Yeah.
really nice.
She loved doing them. She loved it.
Yeah. Well, Dia de los Muertos is coming up.
Yes.
The celebration actually kind of
Ooh.
starts today, 20 days before. The actual day is celebrated November 1st, November 2nd, and coincides with All Saints Day and All Souls Day with the Catholic faith. And so I know that in your windows, I've seen some of the Dia de los Muertos items and stuff. Tell me what you are selling there as well as gearing up for the big Mexican holiday.
Oh, we've got
You got Katrina. I know I've seen her in the window.
we've also got some paper mache skeletons, and we've got some skulls, and we've got some oh gosh, we got decorations for Dia de los Muertos that say Dia de los Muertos.
And you got purses there. We just had a picture of a purse with a calavera on there.
We've got purses with that, and we've also got other things for your I am losing my train of
The Dia
thought.
de los Muertos celebration.
For the where the people put the stuff.
Oh, the ofrendas.
The ofrendas, thank you.
Yes, yes.
We got a lot of stuff for that.
Oh wow.
So
Wow. So yeah, if you're thinking about
Sarapas.
doing an ofrenda this year and you're not sure as you're learning how to do and celebrate Dia de los Muertos, stop in Chulas.
Yeah.
They've definitely got items. And even so many of those handmade items your mom made could fit on an
Oh,
ofrenda.
sure.
I know I've
Oh,
used them
yes.
before, so
Oh yes.
they're very beautiful. She
Thank
has
you.
the infant. I think it's I don't know. It's the Mexican infant de Prague, if you will, because Prague's in Czechoslovakia. But there's an infant Mexican one they call. Is it El Nino?
El Niño.
Yeah, and then they also have many of the Our Lady of Guadalupe. They have Jesus, and just beautiful items that
Yep.
you won't find anywhere else
Mhm.
except for Chula's Mexican
Right.
Imports.
Right.
So Vasquez Cameron Dolores. That's what it says on her Facebook page. Her name is Dolores. I call her Lola. She says, "Thank you for having such an amazing store.
Thank you.
Your store is definitely our go-to store for our heritage needs." Oh,
Aw,
what a comment.
thank you.
Hey, cuz, I didn't know you had that in you. No, I just kidding. But anyways, it's really nice to have you here in the studio to find
Thank
out
you.
about Chula's, because like I said, I've gone there for since you opened. I can't believe it's been 8 years,
Mhm.
and it's just always a pleasure. You girls are very welcoming to the customers. I see you. Um, Talking Spanish to those that are
Mhm.
coming in to use the telephone line to call Mexico,
Mhm.
as well as in the next sentence you're telling me about the rosarios there at the counter that you're
Mhm.
selling, and then I go in there sometimes and I try on hats, uh, but she's got all kinds of items, so I encourage anybody to go to Chulas, and it's out in Shields, and it's going like if you're going to Miller Road, it's before Miller Road on Gratiot Highway. So go out there if you can. We'll be right back when we're going to talk more with Maria Rangel Baron from Chula's Mexican Imports. Thank you, everybody who's in the room and making comments. We encourage you to, if you've got a question of Maria or of Chula's Mexican Imports, go ahead, leave it in the chat room, and we will ask the questions. Because Mi Gente on Air is your show too. Mi Gente on Air, my people, and that's what it's about: is learning about the entrepreneurs or those Hispanic individuals who are making an impact in our community. Um, Latino concerns, culture, and contributions. And Maria Rangel Baron and her sister Janie Escamilla, they are making an impact. And that was really a nice comment from Dolores Vasquez Cameron, where she says that truly it's a store where our heritage goes to for those heritage needs. So thank you so much for that comment. And again, if you have a comment or question, please put it in the chat room because we love talking and bringing up those comments to our guests here on Mi Gente on Air. So we'll be right back in a few moments, and we're going to continue on with the rest of the show.
This is Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back, Mi Gente. We are here in the Alpha Media Studios at WSGW. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and I have Maria Rangel Baron in the studio. And many of you will probably see her on Facebook. She's pushing her store over there in Shields, Chula's Mexican Imports. And sometimes you want to call her Chulita. I know. She's always has a smile on her face when you greet her at the door. But, I want to ask you, how has the store or the business changed since you guys first opened 8 years ago?
Well, a lot of people are getting to know us now, so changed. I guess we from time to time try new products to sell at the store and to see how it goes. We get a lot of changes from time to time, so it's hard to say.
Well, one of the items that I recall, and I was really surprised that you carried there,
Mhm.
was the mocajete,
Mhm.
which, for those that may not know what that is the little stone that you grind your spices in, say, before you make a Mexican dish. So if you're
Mhm.
making guacamole or salsas, you can grind that in. And I think that is the old way to do it, and I still think that's the better way,
That's probably the
much
better way.
more fresh for your salsas. And you can use it as you can keep whatever item you put in there, whether it's guacamole or salsas, and you can dip chips in there. And they
Mhm.
have it on sale over at Chula's Mexican Imports,
Mhm.
different sizes, and
Yeah.
it's nice to see that because I know in a pinch I've gone over there, I think, and purchased one. But it's nice to know that you have those items because sometimes you have to go all the way down to Detroit.
Yeah, we have tortilla presses, tamale pots, we have tamale spreaders, we have
Yeah.
so many
Do you remember when the
items.
tamale spreaders came out?
Oh,
Like that was,
yes.
I remember, and they were at the tamale taste off, and those were the first item that sold out, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that very
Yeah.
first year, and we were at Newville Elementary, and she couldn't keep up with the tamale spreaders, and I've
Mhm.
learned how to use them, and I think it's so much faster than if
It's
you are doing with a spoon.
yeah, it takes technique. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
get used to it.
yeah. So it's nice that you have those products
Mhm.
for everybody, and I know that when I've asked your sister, what is any new products that you have down the line that you're bringing in? What would you say?
Well, my sister's gonna be going to Texas soon, and so she'll be finding a lot more new stuff over there. We have I don't know, we have quite a few products right now that we got in that are new. We got some Dia de los Muertos sugar skull mask, and we've got a lot of other stuff that we got in new. Um, from time to time, we get new stuff. It's just hard to say. We just all of a sudden get something new.
Well, the Dia de los Muertos is, becoming so much popular. Have you noticed
Mhm.
how outside of even the Mexican community, there's a lot of individuals who are making ofrendas now or who
Right.
are celebrating it coming up. Like I said, 20 days out. Usually it's 3 weeks celebrated, and then on November 1st and November 2nd is the big celebrations
Mhm.
around the United States and in Mexico. And it's when we started 14 years ago at the Civica to do the first um, Dia de los Muertos celebration, I remember it was hard to find items because nobody was celebrating it as much as they are today. Of course,
Mhm.
with the movie Coco, that just boomed. But
That helped.
a
Mhm.
long time ago, I remember I was an intern at the Sagana News, and I asked if I could write a story on Dia de los Muertos, and they shot it down. The editor shot it down because they said, and I'm not trying to make anybody look bad, but it was just the timing. They said that it wasn't really celebrated in our community, and I was like, "What? Maybe not in your community, but in our community it was, and it
Mhm.
always has been." My mother-in-law for years always put up an ofrenda in the home during that time, and so I would encourage anybody who wants to celebrate to make sure that they understand the meaning behind Dia de los Muertos.
Mhm.
And that's what we're going to do with the 14th annual Dia de los Muertos celebration at the Unión Cívica Mexicana. It is November 4th. It's going to fall on the Saturday after the actual celebration, but that's the only time we could fit it in, where we have beautiful ofrendas from families in our community. And we're going to have different events with that. I know the Marshall Frederick Sculpting Museum has hired John Martinez to actually come out and do some sculpting of sand. They will be out
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah, and then we are going to have what we have done here in the Midwest, and I'm sure other communities. We've added the food truck uh, popularity to the event, and TNT is going to be there as well as Cop King, and of course Mr. Petito Man will be out there selling, and it just really adds to the event, I think. So, but the whole idea behind it is probably something very similar to what you do as well. You at Chulas is that you're inviting the whole Great Lakes Bay community, not just Mexicans or Hispanics, but everybody,
Everybody. Mhm.
because it brings a real big awareness to our culture, and it is one of the big celebrations that we celebrate every year. So I think that I want to encourage my listeners out there. If anybody wants to or has a question about Dia de los Muertos or understand it fully, reach out to me because as the season approaches, I'm always talking about it on a daily basis. So it's really, really nice to talk about. Chulas, it seems like a real niche business. Has that hurt you or has it helped you? Because you guys are kind of standalone out there.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we're doing well. I mean, I can't complain. It's a lot of work running a business, but I love it. What we do, what we have, what we sell. It just makes me feel like I'm home. So
Yeah, definitely.
you gotta love what you do. So, and I do.
Are there any new products that are coming down the line? I know we talked about that a little bit earlier, but
Hmm.
specifically, with tamales season coming up, which is going to be
Mm-hmm.
in the month of November, December. It's already coming up. This year is just flying by. And is there any other products that can help a tamale maker make tamales?
Tamale maker make tamales. N- I I honestly can't think of anything that's gonna help you with your tamales unless you got somebody good making
I know, right?
them.
What about you, Jonathan? What do you have to ask
Well,
Maria?
it's kind of along the same vein. It seems I might have the wrong thought of this, but it seems like you have kind of a pretty wide selection of stuff. Is it
Mhm.
based off of what you can get your hands on when you go to restock? Are you kind of at the
What
mercy of whatever you can find?
actually, yes and no. It's what customers want, and
Okay.
what's popular, what's selling the most. That's what we'll keep stock of, and what doesn't sell, then we'll just throw it to the side. And we also get input from customers. Can you get us this? Can you get us that? So we get from customers most of our products. How to get our products is what they want. So they tell us what they need or what they want or what they suggest we should carry, and we listen to our customers.
Do they get those ideas? Is it people who have lived maybe in Mexico or in
Yeah.
Texas and they're
Mhm.
looking for that taste of home? Is that where you see
Uh
a lot of those recommendations?
Actually, both.
Really?
Yeah, we have the actual Mexicans that come up here to work, and we also have people from around here that already live here. So it comes from both. They
Yeah.
just tell us what they want or what they're looking for, and if it's something that's gonna sell good, then we'll start stocking it for sure.
Now the rosaries that you have in the store,
Mhm.
is that are any of those handmade, or they come from a particular store in Texas, or because they're beautiful, they're
Yeah.
just beautiful. And I know you have all those at the counter.
Yeah, we have some from Texas, one from some from Mexico, but handmade, I don't know. I don't know if they're handmade or not.
Oh, okay.
My mom made some rosaries, so
Oh,
there
she
is
did,
some rosaries that she did make, but they're
but you
they're
kept them. I hope
they're
you kept them.
yeah, they're actually big wall rosaries that you put on your wall.
Oh, wow,
So
wow.
she's made those.
Yeah, I've seen those as well. And Loteria is always such a popular
Mhm.
game, and I see that it's becoming more and more popular at different events. Different organizations in the community are starting to throw Loteria parties. Are you getting a request for those items?
All the time, loteria. That's what they come in and look for a lot.
Yeah,
Loteria.
and that what that is that's the Mexican bingo, if you will.
Yes,
It's
yes.
bingo, but it has all the different like birds and
There's actually a show on TV now that I saw. So it must be getting popular. They got
oh,
a show
really?
on TV. It's on Monday nights.
Oh, wow.
That's called Loteria something. I don't remember
And they're
the.
just people playing Loteria, or is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
it's like a game show.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I know that must be very popular,
It
actually.
is.
One of the things I've seen, of course, like I've mentioned, is the T-shirts
Mhm.
that will have like the mermaid on it, and in Spanish, you'll say what it is, and then I also saw one with Donald Trump's picture on it.
Oh, yeah.
I won't say what was on there, but
Uh,
it definitely was a interesting catch the eye
yeah.
type of item there at Chula. So, well, we're really happy for you guys.
Thank you.
8 years is a long time for a
Mhm.
business to continue on and succeed. How long do you see yourself doing this?
I hope to keep going. I don't. I just hope my business goes on when I'm gone.
Yeah. Well, I think there's always going to be a need for, those Mexican
Mhm.
imported items.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
We've had a lot of entrepreneurs on the show, and it's people who have been in kind of a business owner family. It's people who've maybe inherited a restaurant, or they
Oh,
grew up in
with it.
mom and dad's store or whatever. Did you have any legacy like that? Your parents or anything?
No, no, not really. I just remember my dad years ago wanted to open a restaurant. And his name's Tony, and he wanted to name it Tony's. Go figure.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, no, really, nobody in the family owned a business or
Are you going to
anything
try
like
and
that.
pass it down?
Yes, yeah, probably not to my son because he's got his own career. He's a PA, so I can't really, he don't really want to run a business when he's making good money anyway. But yeah, probably, my sister and her kids or grandkids. Yeah, hopefully it gets passed down for sure, stays in the family.
Well, Melissa Escamilla, she must be related to your
Yes.
sister. She says only place in town to get a cold topo chico.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And my Melissa Escamilla has her own little business actually. She's got uh makes cakes and desserts and everything.
Wow. So she's
Yeah.
definitely an entrepreneur. See what I tell you? I mean, the Latinas out there, they're really
Yes.
stepping up and doing their own businesses. And
Women, Mexican women are pretty headstrong. So we don't like to take no for an
you
answer.
sure aren't kidding there. No, I'm just kidding. So Janie Escamilla, like we said, she's part owner of the store as well.
Mhm.
And how do you feel about working with your sister? Because I know that that can be challenging sometimes with when you're in business with
Sure.
family. Sometimes
Sure.
it can be difficult. But how have you gotten along with Janie as a
Um
co-owner?
it's been, we've had our challenges. It's never easy, but we're sisters. So, I mean, we just get through it either way, and I trust her, she trusts me. And that's probably one of the best things you can have in a partnership is trust.
Yes. Well said. Well said. Give me your hours to the store because we have somebody asking what are your hours, and I know you guys have changed them from when you started. So let's talk
Yes, and we'll probably change our hours, get more hours
for
during
the
the
holidays.
holidays. Yep, we'll probably up our hours. But right now, Monday through Friday, it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., except on Tuesday when we're closed. And Saturdays 10 to 5 and Sundays 12 to 5.
Oh, those are good hours.
But we will be I'll be putting in more hours during the holidays, I should say.
Yeah.
I live closer, so
Yeah, definitely. Have you guys ever considered having food products there?
we do
I
have
I
some
mean I
food.
mean cooked food, not the food.
Oh,
Because you
on and off, we've been selling tamales.
really.
Yeah, we don't make them. We have somebody else makes them, but I'm not a good tamale maker, so I'm too busy running a business. But maybe eventually. I mean, who knows what the future holds?
Yeah, yeah. I remember taking food in there to you. I don't know what it was. Was it patitos or tamales
Oh,
or it
patitos. Your
was?
patitos were good. Big.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
filling.
yes, they are. Yes, they are. And that's very, Tex-Mex. That's
Mhm.
uh, kind of really where it originated. I think that kind of food, because of course in Mexico they don't make patitos. Believe it or not. I mean, they
I
make
never heard patitos until I
yeah.
came to Michigan.
So Saginaw, it's a Saginaw thing, just like
Yeah.
the Vargas taco bread that they sell over at Vargas Tortillas, and
Oh.
it's to our region
Mhm.
something that we can boast about, and I'm very proud to say that because um, it's amazing. I go down to Detroit and they've never heard of them either, and I think the closest thing that you may have heard of for my listeners out there to understand is I don't know if it was called a chalupa from Taco Bell.
Chalupa.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was kind of similar in terms of the deep fried masa, but I'm pretty sure they've used store bought tortillas or have a big
Probably it's Taco Bell,
where
so.
I'm over here where I'm over here rolling out like a
Aw.
tonto. No,
Well, you
no.
need to get some of our aprons at the store.
Yeah, yeah. So, are there any products that you have that are originating in the Saginaw area, or is it all mostly from Texas and Mexico?
No, I don't think we have anything from Saginaw that I can think of.
Wow, wow.
So,
Because
I mean,
with in this day and age of Amazon and
mhm,
you can get just about everything and anything if you really
mhm,
look. But it's kind of nice to be able to just browse through your shelves,
mhm.
and see all those different products because there's quite a bit. You're always filled with
Yes.
different products and
And
all.
we
And
always get new stuff in. That's why I can't really tell you what we're gonna get in until we get it in.
wow,
But we'll post it on our Facebook page when
yeah.
we do get something in.
But isn't that something that Janie goes all the way down there? She crosses the
Mhm,
border and brings back all
mhm,
these products. So I am always very much a Frida Kahlo fan. I've
mhm.
always liked her work and her story and how she and Diego came to Detroit and lived while he was doing the frescoes in the Detroit Institute of Art. So when you had those Frida items, that was really nice.
We still have
See.
Frida items.
Yeah, yeah, and I've seen them on wallets. They have
Mhm.
wallets for
Wallets,
women and
purses,
purses,
jewelry.
jewelry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So that's really nice that you can offer that as well to the community, along with the Selena items, as well as the handmade items that your mom made.
We
And
have a little bit of everything.
yeah, yeah. But let's talk about the candy, because if there's any kids out there, I'm sure they go. I mean,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
the caramel candy that you can get there at your store. You can't get it really anywhere else. So tell us
Yeah.
about the candy.
Oh, we have a variety of candy, a variety, and we sell quite a bit. Candies are big sellers, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, always when my nephews would go in there, that's where they would head straight to the
Hmm.
candy side of things, and they would buy all that candy. So
Hmm.
you got a good thing going on there. So I really want to thank you for coming on the show today, because like I said, we really haven't heard your story. Now, Chula's Imports, has been advertising Mi Gente, but I'd love to see a story on you girls, and I want to bring out some of those old pictures from the 80s, when you had your hair when you
The
had your hair
80s.
real big in Edinburgh.
The
Because I
80s.
saw one today, you and your dad and your sister, and you were a little girl, and Janie
Oh,
was a
yes.
little older, and
Actually, that was in Reynosa. That was
oh,
a picture was taken in Reynosa,
and how old
Mexico.
were you there?
I think I was 10, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I must have just done my communion because I had that white dress on. Is that what I had?
Oh,
So I
okay.
must have just done my communion, and they took us to Reynosa all the time. At least
And
once a week, we
in
went to
Reynosa's
Mexico.
right across the border.
Yes, yes, but we don't go there anymore because it's not as safe as it used to be when we were kids.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's a beautiful town there. I wish I could go back.
yeah, yeah. It's really unfortunate, but I've been considering a trip, Jonathan. So I may not be here at the end of the month, because I've been considering a trip to Mexico, believe it or not, for Dia de los Muertos. Because
By
I've been,
yourself?
yeah, by myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm a grown man, no, but I went a few years back, and I can tell you it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, how the towns they celebrate, and they celebrate big.
They
And
do. They close the whole town.
mhm,
Everybody stops working. They party in the streets,
there's
and
big parades and
it's
multiple parades, and it's really a nice tradition.
it is.
And like you say, it's growing. It's continually growing.
Mhm.
Um, but I hope everybody understands the true meaning of what it is, and understand that it's not so much about throwing a dance or what have you to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, because that's not what the tradition is or is about. It's more of reverence in celebrating that life of your deceased family
Correct.
member,
Yep.
who the Aztecs and the Mayans had that rituals way back before the Spaniards came. And the Spaniards, when they came, they incorporated the Catholicism, the faith of Christianity, and
Mhm.
it's a meshing of those two cultures that we have Dia de los Muertos of today. So we are a product of the Spaniards and the indigenous Indians, the mestizos. That's why they call us the mestizo, the Mexicans of the 21st century.
Hmm.
Huh.
Did not
I didn't
know
know
that.
I didn't know I knew all that. But yeah, so it's funny sometimes the way my brain works, but I think it's really nice that you girls are continuing on that tradition and offering that to our community. We have very few Mexican stores in the area,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are more based on food product. And I think you guys are one of the few, if not the only one, that actually is more based on Mexican products from Mexico and
Mm.
from Texas.
Yeah, we actually get people from all over Michigan come to visit our store that have heard
Really?
our store. Yeah, we get them from up
Wow.
north and down south, and they come all over.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
sometimes they'll come into our store saying they went to Mexico and forgot to buy a gift, and we thought they'd come to our store and buy the gift.
Oh, wow.
That happens quite a bit too.
Wow, you're telling on the customers.
They don't
So,
know.
so if you got a product recently from Mexico, no, no, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But um, tell me any last words. I told you it would go fast, the show, and we were
Yeah.
already at the 2 minute mark almost. And what would you say to the audience that may not know of Chulas out there?
Oh my gosh, please come visit us. We have so much to offer, so much to see. It's a beautiful store. Especially during the holidays, you'll find some unique gifts, that's for sure. and we speak Spanish, hablamos español, so
And you have the serapes, I know, that are
yes,
just beautiful. Some of the
yeah,
ones that you've had there, some that are even aprons, like we showed earlier.
yes.
Yeah. So, it's Angela Blanco is a frequent guest on our listener here
Hmm.
in Mi Gente. And she says, "Will you be getting any artificial marigolds before Dia de los Muertos?" So that's the Mexican flower
Yeah.
that they use typically on the ofrendas.
We do have some flowers there. Um, I don't know if they're that particular color, but I
Yeah.
know we do have some colorful flowers. There may be marigold in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have some already.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just got some new stuff in this week, so I'll be putting it on Facebook soon.
I'm gonna have to make a trip over there.
Yeah, yeah.
You mentioned that come and visit. How often do you restock? Because it seems like there's a reason to come back often enough and see what new stuff came in.
You know, it's hard to say. It
Should we
could
be
be,
planning weekly trips out there?
or it could be at least if you come once a month, you might see something new anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stock pretty often.
Well, it's encouraging to know that you have been successful for 8 years,
Mhm.
because sometimes stores don't even last that long, and you actually got through the pandemic. So I mean, that
Yes,
must have been a real challenge
that was.
at that
Mhm.
time. And so I know that it was a tiring time for everybody, but I'm glad you guys survived it. You and I've got to talk about a little bit more about, really the promotion of chulas,
Mhm.
more in mi gente. But we'll talk about that later another
Okay.
time. But just want to thank you so much, Maria
Thank
Cristina
you.
with no H, Rangel Berron.
No wait.
Who you see her on Facebook as well, and they're doing great things in the Shield Saginaw area to bring that cultural and heritage product to our area. So thank you so much again, and we will be back next week
Thank
talking
you.
more about Latino contributions, concerns, and what's the third one, Jonathan?
Culture.
Culture. Yes, we will. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again here on Mi Gente on Air. Adios. So there you have it, Chula's Mexican Imports. It's over there on Gratiot Highway, going in Shields over before Miller Road. And you got two sister entrepreneurs that have been having this store open for 8 years. Can you believe that? It doesn't seem like it at all. I would have thought maybe 4, maybe 5.
Flies.
But now when I think about my nephew and how little he was, and I see him today, yes, it's been the 8 years. So
Mhm.
he had to have been like 9 when I took him in there, maybe younger. But is there anything else you can think of off the top of your head that you might want to tell the listeners of Mi Gente on air?
Nothing. We'd be glad to get new customers, and if you haven't been to our store, please come in and talk to us, and we'd love to hear from you. What maybe if you're looking for something, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to try and find it.
So just as we wrap this up, just give me the address and again the hours for Chula's Mexican Imports.
We are 7755 Gratiot Road, Suite 5, and our hours are Monday through Friday, except Tuesday, 10 to 6. We're closed on Tuesday, and Saturday is 10 to 5, and Sunday's 12 to 5.
All right. And how about a phone number?
Our phone number is 989-798-4456.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mhm.
Okay, everybody, it's a wrap. Thank you again for tuning in, and all those that left comments for us on the show today. Thank you so much. And we will continue to bring Mi Gente on air. We're going into our 3-year anniversary in November. So if
Wow.
anybody's got any ideas for shows, upcoming shows, please inbox me or send me a message and let me know. It's been a pleasure as always, and thank you everybody who is listening out there in the listening world. Adios.